So, the 2024-25 San Antonio Spurs schedule is all set like Jimmy Johnson for the upcoming new NBA season, which will be my 28th year as a Spurs fan, including the season opener against the Mavericks for Spurs Mavs version 2 as a subsequent follow-up of last year, this time in Dallas instead of San Antonio, where unfortunately the SAS a year ago ended up taking the L. Will things be different this year, and will the Black and Silver get their redemption and avenge their loss from a year ago? Tune in this fall during Season 4 of Adventures in Autumn to find out together as a fan base, audience, and family. Hey YouTube, what's going on? Mark here. Happy Saturday to all, and I hope you all are staying dry out there, and also happy MIS race weekend. This is going to be weird, especially today after what happened in the Busch Grand National Cabela's 250, and with that flip on the last lap, and this is going to be weird this week with my dad and I not being there for the first time since 2001, and if you want to technically count the 2008 GFS Marketplace 400 under the name 3M Performance 400, they could say that. And even though the COVID year in 2020 doesn't count because that was just by default that we had no control over. But yeah, it felt weird considering, my dad's in Seattle, Washington, and I'm still here at home, and where him and I chose not to go this year. And tomorrow it's official. My girlfriend sadly, thankfully, did not catch the call she thought, so she will be here for tomorrow's GFS Marketplace 400 MIS, considering the weather's not looking very good for tomorrow either. So even if she wasn't coming, I was going to watch regardless. But the fact that she is coming tomorrow will make it even better so she can meet my mom and my grandparents. But we'll have more details on that in tomorrow's race review. So anyway, now to the elephant of the room. So therefore, the 2024-25 San Antonio Spurs schedule is officially out. So therefore, probably wondering, Mark, are you going to be able to tune into the games this year, at least a good chunk of it, after not doing so last year? Well, before I break down the key games, I want to keep an eye on the most. I only think there's a handful of them. But anyway, last year, as we all know, let's backtrack. Let's start in chronological order. So, 2019, we've been at the bottom of the West for the last 5 years, since the 2019-2020 season, after the year Parker left to go play in Charlotte, and he ended up missing the playoffs altogether, while the team he played almost his whole career up to his last year made the playoffs without him. Which is why if I'm lucky to touch my PS4, as old school as I am, which I only want to stick with PS1 and PS2, I want to hopefully one day do gaming on the channel, which I kind of spoiled it for you, but I'm not going to say what I'm going to do except for this point. If NBA Live 19, I want to do a season where Tony Parker does not leave to go to Charlotte, and he and DeJounte actually worked it out over the starting point guard spot, and you put two and two together. Parker agrees to take a mentor role that Pop wanted to have him take, where he stays in San Antonio, accepts coming off the bench, so follow in Manu's footsteps, and then DeJounte Murray starts, and then Murray does not go down in the preseason with that injury, and we played in the regular season with Murray not healthy and Parker still on the team, in the regular season, but we do a hell of a lot better than the real life 2018-2019 Spurs team. And then we gets the playoff seeded the same way like in real life, except let's see if we can get the Spurs a first round victory versus Denver, where DeJounte and Murray and Jamal Murray go head to head, and Tony Parker, and before he turned out to be the garbage player that he eventually turned out to be, except for every now and then, that talentless hack, basically that tool who ended up in prison for beating his baby mama, the king of bitching it up, Bryn Forbes, before he turned out before he eventually showed his true colors the following season. Let's see how good Parker, Murray, and Forbes are as a triple, point guard trio, to see how good they are to make that 2018-19 Spurs team a hell of a lot better in NBA Live 19 than they are in real life, and see if they can make a further playoff run than they did in real life, even if they don't win the championship in this universe. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, so I apologize for that. Anyway, so therefore, that last year was the last that Parker left to go play in Charlotte was the last time we made the playoffs, and we probably could have gone farther if he stayed and Murray never got hurt to go with Forbes being absolutely amazing in that series. But sadly, we'll never know. The only way we know if we do a what if scenario in NBA Live 19, which I have a separate video on that describing the future of this channel and where updated content where I keep everything the same but add new stuff to it. But that's at that date to be announced. So once I figure it out, I'll make a community post and we'll post an update video on my second TikTok link to the YouTube channel Mark Oliveris on YT to update you guys. But then 2019-2020, we get off to a 3-0 start. It turned out to be a fluke to start the season off that well, 3 games in, because after that, it just went down the shitter from there. And then COVID happened, and then the bubble made everything worse for me to the point where that summer, it would have ended in April. The season, the misery would have ended in April, but the misery had to be taken in the summer during what was just as shitty of a year as 2001 was between Earnhardt at Daytona and then on September 11th terrorist attacks, all that shit. And then, that final game of the season where our season was our playoff chances, vanished in the thin air before our last game of the season even started. And then, that first false Matt Bonner, Weatherspoon, ended up getting injured to the point where I got so pissed off where I shut off the damn TV, turned off my computer, walked out of my office and, went outside and took a walk, and it just felt like so very nice to get that, anger and frustration off my back, knowing that the next season, 2021, was going to be weird but interesting, considering we were set to go to the Hall of Fame enshrinement in Connecticut because they moved it from the actual Hall of Fame due to the COVID year and the vaccines coming out to make everything somewhat safe, where we still had a minimal COVID protocols to make sure we didn't go backtrack the wrong direction to how bad 2020 was. Well, that season we started off good and ended bad. And this was exactly the season we debuted these jerseys right here. I still have yet to find the shorts to go with it. So once I find the shorts, the ones that are accurate that go with this, then you'll see me wearing that outfit a little more. So look at that. These will be in my Tim Duncan Can I Recreate episode for when he was when he played in the Alamo Dome. If I give considering besides that one and the white version, this one and this one will be the closest I have besides that one and the white version of that one to owning a 90s Spurs jersey that's not Hardware Classics where it was made in real time back when it was brand new. So yeah, and then we had, blowing the 32-point lead against the Celtics when Jason Tatum 60-pieced us. And then we went to the Hall of Fame enshrinement where Pop was absent, and we had all the scrubs getting their opportunity while we had substitute coaching. And during what was then the NBA Platinum 400 when Hendrick had their historical 1-2-3-4 finish. And thank God I didn't have to see that. I had more fun in Connecticut and watching that hot mess that we were going through, ending the season up starting so well, which is the only reason why we were in the play-in. And then of course we had no surprise we lost it. I kind of expected it with how sour we ended after how that amazing start where even with all the veterans like the king of shitting it up, Rudy Gay clogging up the roster, we still got rookie Trey Jones and Devin Vassell got a good chunk of minutes. And then the next year when we debuted this, I apologize if there's stains on it. I just got through eating a steak sandwich from Penn Station for dinner with a lot of A1 on it, which it's still right there. I gotta put, you can't see it. Yeah, right there. I still need to put it away. I still need to put it away after this is over. We started that season terribly, and then we ended it good. It was like reversal of fortune the year before. We went on a tear to end the season after that humiliating loss on Abuelo's birthday, which I think was his Bill Elliott 94th birthday against John Moran and the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis. And then I took a break because I got so angry and I got miffed at how we were doing. But then as soon as that happened, we went on a tear. It's like at that time I was like, maybe I should actually not watch the games. So that way they can win a whole lot more. Because every time I watch, they shit it up. But even then, that wasn't the truth, because when I started tuning in to finish the season, because that was my 25th anniversary as a fan, they went back to shitting it up, but I still finished the season. I went to the play-in when we had that play-in stream, and against the Pelicans. I think the year before was against the Grizzlies. We had against the Pelicans the next year, and surprise, we lost that one too. I was relieved the season was over, and more relieved that season than the year before, because that was my boiling point where I got frustrated and angry with the team to the point where it leads us into the next chapter. So for 2022-23, I knew the season was going to be worse than the previous two and how horrible we were going to be, considering, probably one of our best players, believe it or not, unfortunately, was that false Malik Rose we call KBD that should have never been allowed to take Malik's number. So, therefore, don't even get me started on him. So, therefore, that was Tankathon 1.0 in order for us to eventually get Wemby. And then 2023-24, it was Tankathon 2.0. Now, here's where we circle back to what I was going to talk about at the beginning before I decided to backtrack and then recross this bridge from last year. So, last year's season opener, I got to watch, it was on ESPN. But as you know, I could not finish that whole game because I had to start work early the next day and get my ass to bed at a reasonable hour in a timely fashion. Well, we ended up losing that game anyway, but it was not even that bad of a loss. We were close. We really did win a little good chunk of games in the beginning, but it was basically Tankathon 2.0. But here's the thing, though. I thought my mom decided not, and I agreed not to renew the league pass this year, which she was going to do. But she decided to surprise me behind my back and not say anything, where she let Spectrum have the league pass renew itself. And I didn't know that. If I'd known sooner, I would have tuned into more games where I didn't have to work the next day, or it was just a non-work night in general, like including a holiday break or something, or a holiday day off or something. But either way, like when my sister was in town for her Mike Wallace, Antonio Daniels, Boris Diaw, Trey Jones 33rd birthday, I decided to check the Spectrum to see if it renewed itself like my mom rumored it did. Turns out it did, and I said, you know what, fuck it, let's write it out. And that's why I was Tankathon 1.75, which is how we got Stephon Castle, and then later signed CP3 and Harrison Barnes and Malachi Flynn, and that led us to dump Dominic Barlow and sadly Devontae Graham. So therefore, that's why, and there's a rumor saying Danny Green might come back, which I hope that's not the case, because we all know what happens when we bring players back for a second run in San Antonio after the first one was somewhat good. The shit doesn't work the second time around because they're a shell of their former self. Forbes, Bellinelli, and it would be the case with Danny Green. I already mentioned DeMar, so therefore I'm glad that didn't happen either. So as long as this doesn't happen with Danny Green, sure, he can have his old number 4 back as long as, someone else doesn't come in and take it. No, he can't have the 14 again because Malachi Flynn probably won't give it up. But, he'll just be a shell of his former self, what he used to be in 2013 and 13-14. So, therefore, we're going to have more on the players in a little bit. And, like, if Keldon Johnson's going to change his number. But here are the games I'm going to keep keeping my eye on. I'm going to look at the schedule, again, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking forward to. All right, so the first one I'm looking at is obviously the season opener, where not only we can avenge our loss from last year's version, but also since it starts early enough, I could stay up for the whole thing and finish it before bed and make my game review. Or I can just, make it pre-recorded and then upload it the next day. But then from November through December, there's, 4 NBA Cup games against the Lakers, the Thunder, the Jazz, and the Suns. So, therefore, I don't know if I'm going to be watching all of that. I'm going to try to, but if I don't watch every game this season, you'll know why, because of my work schedule and everything. But the one game I'm hinting at the most, or for me and my dad to go for, and mostly, is the one against the Cavs here in Ohio to keep the tradition going, which will be on March 27th. So it'll be ever since 2013. I mean, well, we went in 2011, but we missed 1 year in 2012 because that's a story for another day, because I want to make this video as long as it needs to be. So 2011, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, before COVID, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 13 of the last 14 years, we've gone to every single Spurs versus Cavs game here in Ohio. The only one we missed was 2012 for reasons I could talk about in that game review. Where I'll probably be making that game review on the way out of the arena, as a separate video from the vlog itself. So I have to figure out how I'm going to record that this year. So therefore, I think the Spurs will be a little bit better than they have. Well, obviously, I hope they're better than the last 5 years, but I highly doubt it. I hope they're at least slightly better than the way they've been bottom at the West. I think they're going to be like, maybe they'll be lucky to secure a play-in spot, but I don't think they're going to get the 8 seed straight up. They'll have to fight for it because with Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul on the team, and Wemby, having first-year experience in his second year, Malachi Flynn probably could be a possibility of 50-piece thing. If Zach Collins can recuperate his shoulder in time and pick up where he left off from how he ended the season, and if Trey Jones off the bench if he remains on the team, can do it,
Stop it. Get some help.
If Trey Jones himself also can actually, improve and, continue to get better as he's progressed, then I think we have a shot at a play-in spot at best. And if we could keep this consistency, if we do somewhat good enough to get a play-in spot in the regular season, then if we can play like in the play-in, I think we'll be back in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. So I think the Spurs in 2024-25 can be like Austin Dillon in NASCAR in 2016, considering Austin Dillon got in the 2016 chase on points and he made it to the round of 12, and he was like this close to making the round of 8, like that close in the form of a tiebreaker after the EA Sports 500 at Talladega. That's what I feel like the Spurs will do with the play-in spot. They'll get in the play-in by playing some, good enough ball to the point where it won't be good enough for that you're in a playoff spot, but they can earn like a high play-in spot. And I'm not saying this because they're my favorite team or whatever, and as long as they've been almost as long as they've been alive. No, because with the vital pieces, I know some people are saying CP3 and Harrison Barnes is false hope. Well, for those of you who are doubting that, you don't fucking know that. I mean, we don't know that. I mean, those two haven't even played a game for the Spurs yet. So never say never, because it's like food. You never know until you try. Can they at least play enough games first to see where they're going to take, what direction they're going to take us in, to see if they're going to take us to a play-in spot or a lucky, a playoff spot, a 6 seed, because now 7 through 10 has to go in the play-in. But the best I see they can do if we can improve in the last 5 years and being at the bottom of the West is play-in territory. So if we can play good enough at the regular season and we're in a play-in spot, we got to play it in the play-in, and then first so we can get back in the playoffs for the first time since 2019, even if we don't go far enough. That is my prediction for the Spurs this year. And the schedule, it looks like this is going to be interesting with the Spurs Cavs here in Ohio on the 27th. The games in Paris, the games in Austin, Texas, the NBA Cup games, more games being on national television again. This is going to be a fun 28th season. I can't wait. So, therefore, I do have still Zach Collins and Trey Jones as my current favorite Spurs. I know Mamu's still on the team. He came back, but unfortunately Devontae's gone. So my favorite Spurs players going into this season are Zach Collins and Trey Jones, depending on if they stay or not when at the end of the offseason. And then Sandro Mamu, I can't say that name for shit, but those are will be the ones I'll be looking out for as my favorites. So tomorrow, even though I pre-recorded already, in the morning before Julie comes over for the GFS Marketplace 400 MIS, episode 5 of the College Farewell Tour will be scheduled for a Monday morning upload. And then, I don't know how long Julie's staying. I have no idea. But regardless, whether she stays or not for the end of the race, there will be a race review, and maybe I'll do a little pre-race video or something, or whatever, where we and Julie record a video for my channel, or we can have her record something for her channel on her phone. Only time will tell. Will come tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow afternoon, before and during the GFS Marketplace 400 at MIS, to find out together. And I want to say one more thing. It was good to see you today, Madeline Smith. It was a long time coming, but well worth her wait. It was not on the bingo card today for me to see you as quickly as I did. And I was expecting to see you at Cedar Point. We were going to plan a meet up there, but Little did I know you were gonna come in my hood and like, see me and surprise me like that. That was the pleasant surprise. And it just made the fact that I beat the rain even better. So you'll be seeing that upload tomorrow. So, oh yeah, nice to see you too, Stella Luca, and good to talk to you again, Olivia Clark. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. I'll see you all for the next video, which will be tomorrow when I do upload the College Farewell Tour. Episode 5 is a Sunday morning upload, and then sometime later that day, GFS Marketplace 400 of you, and a random video with Julie with me, my channel or her channel. Only time will tell. And so this coming week we got it's looking highly unlikely for Lorraine County Fair to happen because I will not have a ride available or anything. And we got the Rodney Dunlap, Braxton Jarrett, Quinn Melvin football game on Tuesday. We got the Northeast Ohio Storm recap video on Monday, and in conjunction with pre-recording that pregame show for that Tuesday football game. And then, oh yeah, we got 2, maybe 3 more episodes of the College Farewell Tour. Jeremy Barley, Vinny Farrago, Mason Halliburton, maybe 4, LJ Hurlbut. So therefore, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. And then the Pepsi Firecracker 400. Then we're at Daytona that following Saturday. I'm sorry. And maybe we'll watch the Winn-Dixie Firecracker 250 the night before. And then come the 26th through the 29th, guess what? It's a free-for-all. We're going to do whatever, randomized, content, recordings of content to, like, wrap up the last full, true part of Run in the Sun Season 4, aka the 2024 Sandy Ridge Redemption. Some will be, summer 2024 finales of, like, a couple summer series I did. One Tim Duncan can recreate season finale for 2024, and then a Garra Acciones Tudor 2024 finale episode. And then guess what? August 30th through September 8th, the gloves are off. The end of summer explosion from August 30th through September 3rd, and then the summer epilogue on September 4th. September 5th, we got the fall prologue. September 6th, we got the Adventures in Autumn Season 4 premiere. The 7th, we got the birthday party at Sean and Jessica's. The Kinsman where the Coughlins used to live. Melanie, Dave, Gavin, and Colin. And then September 8th, the opening race of the 2024 Chase for the Cup. And if we can't get the day, manage to successfully get the day off of work to rest up from that YouTube exhaustion on September 9th, not to worry, because we'll tough it out if we have to. And then we'll do something different called Spend a Day at Work with me on September 9th. So it's all coming together. You won't want to miss it as we get ready to wrap up summer and ring in the fall. So see you later, everyone. Go Spurs, go! Oh yeah, 3 more things to address. First of all, the introduction of Harrison Ingram in San Antonio. Welcome to the Alamo City. Have at it, young man. The return and redemption of young big man Charles Bassey, who missed the majority of last year, almost all of last year at bare minimum, due to massive injury, which I think was his ACL. Go on with your bad self and get your redemption this year, buddy. We're rooting for you. And of course, the Cleveland game in San Antonio that we went to last year during Season 3 of Winter Wonderland that'll take place during Season 4 Spring is in the Air this year.